Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new segment on the Amateur Commentator. Here, we are talking about all the teams on the preseason review and their possible playing 11s. We are only 2 days away from the IPL season 2022. Hi, Somit. Let's cover first the Royal Challengers Bangalore. What do you feel
Hi,
about the
Anshul.
team?
Hi, Anshul. As we said in our previous segment on the IPL teams when we were talking about them during the auctions, Bangalore, there are question marks over them. But I think the appointment of Fab du Plessis as captain is going to give them a fillip. I'm not sure that missing Maxwell in the first couple of games is going to help them. But I think that the squad has turned out pretty well. It looks a decent squad. And if Kohli is in form, I think they are going to have a good season.
I think not just Maxwell, they will be also missing Hazlewood, which we expected that he will directly slot into the playing 11. So they are essentially missing two of the very important players for them. And what we feel essentially that they will be replacing, Hazlewood with Karan Sharma as they would be playing in Mumbai conditions. And at the same time, they will be probably, replacing Maxwell with another Indian player, probably Anuj Rawat or Lomro will take up the place of Maxwell in the playing 11, at least the slot where they will directly fit into. But overall, I still feel they have pretty good players in the team in the playing 11, but the batting lineup looks a bit thin, especially in the middle order. Yes, they have Fab du Plessis, they have Virat Kohli, but Dinesh Karthik has not played a lot of matches. It will depend on how early he's able to adapt back into the IPL playing scenarios and competing against top bowlers. So that will be an important factor, I would say.
Talking about Dinesh Karthik, I think he scored a century in Vijay Hazare final, although Tamil Nadu lost that one. So I think I'm quite confident that Karthik could be doing a good job. Saying that, from what reports we are hearing, I think Anuj Rawat is going to open and Virat Kohli is going to play at number 3. Could possibly be a great thing for Virat, not having the mental of opening the batting, playing at a position where he is almost a position which he has made his own in international cricket, especially in limited over international cricket. And in FAP, we know that they have got a good player at least for the next 2 seasons. He was brilliant with CSK last season, and I think he will be bringing in that attitude, that winner's mentality to this team, which in some way you have to say that Bangalore have been incredible consistent in not winning the IPL with the teams that they have had. I mean, this level of consistency for 15 years, quite unheard of. But I think, and the fact that they will be missing Maxwell, plus they don't have AB de Villiers for this season, bit tough. But I think they will be doing quite well for themselves, depending upon whether Kohli is in form or not.
Yeah, I somehow feel although they do not have a very balanced top 7, top 8, but this might be a different season for RCB altogether. Firstly, because they have a new captain. Secondly, they are not playing in Bangalore. They will be playing in Mumbai, and somehow I feel the team combination which RCB has, it's better suited to play in a condition for Mumbai as compared to a condition for RCB in Bangalore.
Yeah, I think their bowlers would actually be happy that they are not playing in Bangalore anymore. And I think Siraj would like that. I think the other bowlers would also like that. Someone like a Shahbaz Ahmed or even for that matter, Wanindu Hasaranga. So I think let's run through the tentative 11 that we kind of have made for Bangalore that will play their first game. So I think Faf and Anuj Rawat will open. That is something that we have been hearing. And I think they are kind of quite settled on that one. Virat at number. In the absence of Maxwell, and Mahipal Lomror will take that position up. He will play at 4 because I think Karthik is much more comfortable playing down the order. He has done a good job of that in Kolkata. So Karthik at 5, Hasaranga at 6. Who are the rest, Anshul? Please take up.
Sure. I think top 6 is, pretty much they form automatically with absence of Maxwell. But I would be very much keen to see David Villa also, apart from Hasaranga, because these two are a very important aspect, the batting position and the bowling positions as well, because we do not have a lot of experience in the top order. So the contribution from Hasaranga really will be very important. And I think the bowling, which will include Shahbaz Ahmed, Harshal Patel, and Siraj, would do the job. In the absence of Hazlewood, I'm not sure whether RCB would be willing enough to go for another pace bowler, or based on what we discussed that they're playing in Mumbai. I feel they would go with Karan Sharma initially, at least in the initial games, depending on whether the ball tracks are favoring spin. Then probably they might continue that way, or they might play extra seamer going forward. But one thing, other aspect which also I want to talk about is, based on our discussion, we have only selected 3 foreign players here. So there might also be a discussion whether they would want to include someone like Finn Allen if he finds a place there. I'm not sure, but because as the team managers have already talked about that Anuj Rawat will open, I'm not sure if his place will be very easily replaceable, since Maxwell is not currently not here.
Yeah, I think Finn Allen is kind of pretty good player, and I think opening the batting, it may suit him to open the batting. And in the absence of Maxwell, they could go that route. And if that happens, then I think Rawat has to sit down below even Kohli. I'm not sure whether they will go with that option, but if they want to drop a bowler, bring in Finn Allen, they could kind of do that, considering that they have bowling options. In Lomror can bowl, so can Shahbaz Ahmed, Hasaranga, Willie. So I think they have enough bowling options apart from Siraj and Harshal Patel. Harshal Patel has been brilliant. Yeah, he was. Harshal Patel is not a one season wonder like we have seen many in the IPL previously. I think his performances for the Indian team also speaks volume about the improvements that he has made over the years. So Patel and Siraj, I think, are a good combo in India. Siraj has also improved a lot when it comes to limited over bowling. So yes, Finn Allen is an option. If they go that way, then I kind of see one of Karan Sharma or maybe Shahbaz Ahmed dropping out. That's quite possible.
Sure, I agree to most of the points. Like if RCB would have been playing at Wankhede in the first match, and that would have been, say, a 7:30 match, then probably they would have been more inclined towards Finn Allen. But since that's not the case, then yes, I would feel that this might be the playing 11 they would go ahead with. And it will be a very important season going forward for Harshal Patel, especially because post IPL we will not have a lot of T20 matches international for India, and essentially this will be like a trial out for the World Cup squad for India going down under Australia for the World Cup. So that will be important. This will be an important tournament for Harshal Patel.
Yeah, I think considering the fact that Deepak Chahar is out for most of the seasons, or at least I think till late April or something, and it depends on how quickly he recovers. So if Chahar does not recover quite quickly, then he won't have enough matches to prove himself again. So I think in that case, Harshal would have the opportunity to start for India come September in Australia, September, October. So I think, this is another important season for him as personally. And I think from a team's perspective also, this is quite an important season for him. Bangalore, RCB have been kind of a fan favorites, but they've never won it. And they've never won it under Kohli. He has given up the captaincy. I think he'll be freer in this year's tournament. But at the same time, I think other players need to also take up some responsibility for them.
So my next question, coming to the same point, what are your predictions for RCB for this year? Where do you see them going in the tournament in terms of what position they would end up?
I think they have enough good players, although all the teams have players. But I think RCB would finish somewhere in the mid-table. I am not seeing them as top 1, 2, or 3. But I think they will be there and thereabout, fighting for the 4th position. This could go down to the last week this time around. And with the additional fact that we have 10 teams, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to kind of predict what is going to happen this time around. But I don't see them finishing last. I see them somewhere in the middle fighting for that fourth playoff position.
Sure. I think it will depend a lot in terms of how, Virat Kohli and Faf du Plessis are able to perform, how much runs they are scoring. Because one thing we also need to understand, it's a very important season for Faf as well. He'll be coming to a new team and he'll be directly leading them. And secondly, even though he retired from Test cricket, he was still open to play T20s for South Africa, and he was not selected or considered for the team. So I think it would be also important aspect for him in terms of whether he is able to show his form and how much runs he's able to score, whether he'll be considered again or not for the South Africa T20 squad. That is a different question altogether, but it will be important series. And where RCB ends up, it will depend a lot in terms of how these two players are performing for RCB.
I think I completely agree with you. I think this is going to be an extremely important season for Faf as well. Depending upon how well he plays this season, it could well mean that he goes on to play for the next couple of seasons. But if this season is not a good one for him, it's too early to say, but it could be end of Faf in IPL. He has been a one-team man till now. He has been with the CSK for almost last decade now. So it would be an extremely new challenge. RCB are a differently run franchisee as compared to a CSK. We have seen players who have played in both the franchises talk about the difference in approach, not commenting which one is better, which one is worse, but it's just that it's a completely different environment. So I think, yes, this is going to be a challenging season for Faf as well. I'd ask you one thing. Who are the players you are looking forward to in this season? Someone from RCB, who is going to be your top 3 players to watch out for?
See, for me, the top 3 would be Harshal Patel, Kohli, and Faf. Why Faf? Because, as we talked about, that RCB has been a fan favorite team and they have not won the tournament even once. But Faf is one person who is coming from a team who knows how to win the tournaments. CSK is probably one of the most experienced team, or one of the teams who have won the best performing team and most consistent team, I would say. He has that experience in terms of, winning the tournament. So that is something which will be a breath of fresh air for the RCB entire management. So that's why, more than Faf as a player, I'm more interested in terms of how Faf is able to lead the side in terms of, in the crucial moments where most of the time RCB were not able to capitalize on the situation, I would say.
Yeah, saying that, I think I will be looking forward to how Wanindu Hasaranga plays. I think they've put a lot of faith in him. So at the end, Anshul, what's your prediction for your Karm Bhumi?
See, again, I would not discard RCB too early. I would still feel they might end up in the mid-table, but I would go ahead and say that they have the team and decent enough players to move to the top 4 going ahead.
Okay, so it's a fight for top 4 for me for RCB, and it's a top 4 position secured for RCB from Anshul. Thank you all for watching this episode. We'll be bringing you the previews of the other team again, and please like, share, subscribe our content, and tell us what we can improve. Thank you all.